Welcome back to Revsportz. I am Rahul Giri, and today I'm joined by a very special guest, Apurv Gupta. I think it's a familiar face in Indian sports because Capri Sports, he's the head of contact sports of Capri Sports. And Capri Sports have been hugely involved in Indian sports, especially in women's sports, if you see, because they have teams in in WPL, then also in Bengal Warriors, the Kabaddi League, and in several league as well. But now they have started a new venture, that is Nova Sports Pathway, especially for the women's football in our country. And they're also starting a tournament. First, they are starting in Bangalore with that Nova Football Championship. So, in this video, we're going to discuss in details about that, because how it's going to redefine our football structure, our women's football structure in our nation. So, Apurv, can you just give us the details about this pathway of women's football?
Hi, Rahul. Thank you for having me here. See, Nova Sports was launched with a view that we wanted to we wanted to build a pathway that allows every girl to pursue football, right, at any level. So, like we proudly say, Nova Sports is girls first, always, which essentially means that every decision that we take, with everything that we plan, is built keeping in mind what our athletes need, what our female athletes need. Right from, say, curriculum to safeguarding to, coaching standards, everything. Now, pathway in itself is two tracks, as we call it. One is the development track, which will address right from grassroots schools, grassroots academies, etc., moving up the chain to performance centers, and then eventually elite residential academies, right? It's interconnected. Players move up and down basis their development, basis their choice. And then the other track, which is connected to the development side, is the participation piece, because what you learn, you got to practice, you got to deploy in matches, and we want to make sure that that all our athletes get enough, competitive time on the field to really hone their skills and reach their full potential. So that, in a nutshell, that's what Nova Sports is, and that's what we're going to do in football.
That's great. My second question, Apurv, why football, and especially why women's football? Because in our country, well, most of the CSR funds are going into other sports like cricket or Olympic sports. So why you have chosen football, especially women's football?
See, women's football for us is you know we feel it's at an inflection point, right? You speak about cricket. Cricket has massive investments. We have investments in cricket, in WPL and ILT20. Men's football seen a lot of investment over the last decade and a half. But we feel where women are, where women's football is, and the opportunity that there is, it's the right move for us as a business. If you look at women's football globally, it's expanding, it's rapidly growing. It's one of the fastest moving asset classes globally, NWSL, WSL, be it at the club level, be it the investment level, be it at the viewership level, be it at the commercial level, right? And if we double click on India as a nation, women's football has not had, you know, deep sort of investment.
True.
Yet the performances are there. If you look at our senior national women's team, under 20, under 17, they all qualified for the AFC Cup. They're passionate players. They want to do well for the country. But we also see depth with that, right? Under 17, reaching the quarterfinals of the AFC is phenomenal, and probably the first, if I'm correct, in our history. So there's a lot of positives out there, and we felt that if we get involved, if we do things the right way, we can potentially contribute to that progress and growth.
Absolutely. And Nova Sports, if we summarize the whole thing, then to be honest, it's kind of a grassroots program. A grassroots program where I think European or other football developing nation are very advanced, compared to India. Because India, we have seen in past, several parties have promised a lot of grassroots program, but they have failed to deliver. But what actually the approach of Nova Sports, where actually Nova Sports are different from the others in the grassroots program?
See, for us, the way we look at Nova Sports is a pathway, right? So grassroots to elite. We will not stick to only grassroots. We will invest and in other layers of the pathway,
Okay.
be it high performance centers or be it residential academies. So we want to be part of every athlete who walks in the door, their journey, right? So if somebody's kicking football for the first time but has the potential to go and play for the Indian national team, we want to be
Great.
part of that journey. If somebody is playing already at the national level, but they feel we can help them reach high ground, we want to be part of that journey. So we are building it up as a pathway. Grassroots, of course, is a very, very important piece. India specifically, I mean, obviously globally, there are a lot of good examples, great examples of in football in specific. But
Mm.
for us, it's important to contextualize all of that to India because India is a unique, diverse market. We just can't pick up something and put it in India and expect it to work. So the way we are looking at it, the way we are trying to differentiate ourselves, would be deep diving into the needs of our athletes, right? So, for example, curriculum, building a curriculum which is girl specific. The reason for that is that if we look at some of the global research, the training methodologies, even globally today, are based on men's football. And that style of training, women are 8 to 10 times more likely to get an ACL injury compared to men's. So obviously there needs to be some adaptation. So we want to contextualize things like that to India, so that we can enhance the progress of the players and their experience. Safeguarding, for example, is another important piece for us. And safeguarding is not only in terms of the traditional safety that we talk about, but every aspect of the athlete, right? How they feel, athletes' behavior towards each other, how they interact with the coaches,
Mm.
uh, and building, because sports traditionally has built or is known to build confidence, discipline, so many other qualities in a human being, and we want to make sure that our athletes feel safe, confident, within that environment. So there'll be a series of such things that we deep dive into and look which we believe will help differentiate us.
Interesting. You have mentioned the first edition of the Supernova Football Championship. I think it will take place in Bangalore, if I'm not mistaken. What kind of experience the girls will take away from that edition of the tournament?
So when we decided to do Supernova Football Championship, we wanted to make sure that we thought about what would be a success factor for us, right? And the success factor for us was if every girl walks out feeling happy and like a champion, because often sports is indexed on medals and the final winners, but when you're dealing with younger kids at the grassroots level, I think so passion and interest is far more important. And we work backwards from there in terms of what does that mean for us? How can we bring that experience? So the way we are looking at Supernova Football Championship is there is obviously a competitive side. There's competition, intense competition that the teams will go through, play over a period of 2 days. But at the same time, on the side, we want them to engage. We want them to have a great experience. So there'll be an engagement and an experiential layer to it, with activities and the setup and everything, having things like selfie booths, etc. So we want them to have a good experience, but be very focused and competitive when they're on the field. So that's the way of looking at Supernova Football Championship, and that's what people can expect.
Any plan to expand it from Bangalore to other cities in future? What will be the role?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think so. Our ambition over the next decade is to expand into 10 plus markets in India, and create this pathway. So definitely we'll be expanding in the future to other cities.
That's great. And my final question, obviously, suppose if we speak, after 5 years, so where would you like to, like Nova Sports to reach that you can say that, the mission has been successful, I mean, in next 5 years or decades?
See, I think the mission is never, you never, it's good if the mission keeps going and we're never satisfied. I think so that hunger needs to stay alive in us and everybody around us and in the ecosystem to continue to do better. But particularly about Nova Sports, the way I see it is, if you're able to expand into markets, if you're able to develop athletes, and we see those athletes progress through the ecosystem, getting more and more opportunities, better exposure, better talent, that would be success for us, right? If we see um, uh, increase in participation overall within the ecosystem, not only Nova Sports, that's success for us, because we want more and more girls to play. We want more and more talent to come through, and we want those girls to go on and shine for India, and every place that they play and work. So that would be success for us if we see that movement.
That's great. Thanks a lot, Apurv, for joining us on Revsportz. I really enjoyed talking to you, and best wishes for this Nova Sports Football Championship. Hope it can take Indian football to a new heights in the coming years. Thanks a lot
Thank you,
again.
Rahul. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
For India's best multi-sports coverage, your platform is one, and that's Revsportz. So like, share, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. I think by now you know that we will be everywhere in different parts of the world and bring you on-ground reportage. As I said, your best multi-sports coverage on Revsportz, your favorite destination.